If this is the first time you're watching my video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Please turn on the notification so that you get the latest updates. In today's class, let us see how to set up a SAP MM pricing procedure. But before we get into the details, let us understand what SAP MM pricing procedure is and why it is required to be configured. Whenever you want to purchase a material from a vendor, okay, you negotiate with the vendor and the vendor quotes the price of the material. But this is only the basic price that the vendor quotes. But apart from this price, you need to pay various other components like freight, taxes, surcharges, etc. So the vendor may be quoting a particular price, but you end up paying a different price altogether. So the process of calculating the net price that you need to pay is called the pricing procedure. Okay. Now a pricing procedure is set up in such a way that all these components called condition types are sequentially organized and the values are picked up for the relevant condition types using the condition table and the access sequence, and then the calculation is performed on these values to arrive at the net price. So if you look at the configuration of SAP MM pricing procedure, there are several components to it. One is the condition table, two is the access sequence, three is the condition type, four is the condition record, five is the schema group, six is the calculation schema, seven is the schema determination. Now let us go and see how the pricing procedure is selected when you create a PO and how it works. In a purchase order, okay, when you enter the vendor number and the purchase organization, the system automatically selects the pricing procedure. So the pricing procedure is one where it consists of different condition types that are sequentially arranged so that you can calculate the right value of the product that you're purchasing. And you need to pay this value to the vendor to procure the material. The actual payment to the vendor is based on the payment terms that you have agreed with the vendor. Now let us look into details what these various components are. The first is a condition table. So condition table is where you define the combination of fields by which you can fetch the condition record and its value. Suppose if you have purchase organization, vendor, material as a combination, then for this combination of fields in the condition table, the condition record will be created, and then you can fetch this condition record. So you can create your own tables in SAP. SAP has configured up to table number 1 to 500, and you can configure the condition tables from 501 to 999. Now once you have created the condition table, the second configuration that you need to work on is the access sequence. Access sequence is used to search for a condition record for a particular condition type from a condition table. One access sequence can contain one or more condition tables. Suppose if you see a particular access sequence, we can maintain 3 condition tables in one access sequence, and the system searches for this condition type sequentially through all these 3 condition tables till it's able to find a value for this condition record. Now, the next configuration is the condition type. So different condition types are used and different condition types are configured for components like the gross price, discount, freight, surcharge, rebate, etc. Suppose if we are purchasing a material for a price of $100 and we get a discount of $10, then the price 100 will go into one of the condition types. So you need to create a condition type so that that value of 100 can be fetched into that condition type. Similarly, you need to create another condition type called the discount condition. And to this condition type, you can fetch the value or calculate the discount based on a percentage. So like this, you define various condition types that you require to complete or configure the entire pricing procedure. Condition record. A condition record contains the record that is maintained against the condition table with regards to the condition type. So if you look at a condition record, it basically contains the value which is maintained for a combination of fields that you have set up earlier. In our earlier example, we saw that the combination is purchase org, vendor, and material. For this combination and for a particular condition record, you maintain a value. Now, this can be fetched via access sequence and condition type. The next configuration setup is schema group. So you define a schema group vendor and then assign it to the vendor. Then you define a schema group for a purchase organization and assign it to the purchase organization. For a combination of schema group vendor and schema group purchase organization, the assigned pricing procedure will be picked up by the system. The next is the calculation schema. Now, once you have set up all these condition types, the next step is to arrange them in a sequence and then tell the system how the pricing has to be calculated. Say, for example, you have the gross price of $100. Then you have the discount of 10%. Now, this 10% on what value it should calculate. So, this 10% will be calculated on the gross price. Similarly, you have freight. Now, freight, you have different ways of calculating. Is it a fixed value or is it a percentage of the value of goods or is it a percentage or based on the quantity? So depending on how you want to set it up, you can set up the freight condition. And once you set up, now arranging it sequentially to calculate the value of the item is called calculation schema. Now, in the subsequent slides, we will look at in detail how the calculation schema looks and how to set it up. The final step is schema determination. In this step, you maintain the actual pricing procedure that you have defined and you assign the pricing procedure for a combination of schema group vendor and schema group purchase organization. So let us understand how the system picks up the pricing procedure when you're creating a purchase order. So whenever you are creating a purchase order, you enter the vendor code and then the organization data like the company code, purchase organization, purchase group. The moment you enter the purchase organization, the system now knows what is the vendor that you entered, and this vendor has been assigned to a particular schema group vendor, and purchase organization has been assigned to a schema group purchase organization. For this combination, a particular pricing procedure has been assigned in the configuration. So now, since the system knows the combination of schema group vendor and schema group purchase organization, it now knows which pricing procedure to be picked up and picks up the relevant pricing procedure. Once the pricing procedure has been identified by the system, the pricing procedure consists of various condition types. Like if you look at the material price, your PB00, you have discount RA00, freight ZFRT. So depending on whatever condition types you have defined, the system will automatically identify those condition types. And the next step, what it will do is for these condition types, it will go to the relevant access sequence. Say, for example, in our configuration, we have set up an access sequence called ZAA1. Now, using this access sequence, the system will go and look at different condition tables. Say, for example, we have set up the first uh, search for in the access sequence an outline agreement and defined a relevant condition table. The system will go and check for the condition record for that outline agreement in that particular condition table. If it doesn't find, then it goes to the next step where you have defined it as an info record and looks at that information and then goes and searches the condition table for an info record value. If you maintain the info record value, then this value will get populated and this value is sent to the PB00 condition as the value or the price of the material. If it is not able to find a valid record, then it goes to the next step where you have defined and created a condition table for a combination of purchase org, vendor, material. And then if it's able to find a valid record, then it picks up that value and then populates that value in PB00. Say in our example, say we have populated a price of $40. So the system picks up this $40 and populates in condition PB00. Similarly, for the next condition, it goes through a similar loop and identifies the price and then populates it to the relevant condition type. So the system continues till all the conditions values are populated. The next step is the calculation. The calculation, if you see, is based on the calculation schema. So in the calculation schema, what we do is we set up the first column where you see step is where you set what is the first step the system has to look for and what is the condition type it should look for, and then the value that it will populate. So now it populates the value for this condition type PB00. Once it populates that value, what is the next thing it should do? The next step that you can define is, say you have defined a rebate or a discount. So the system will look for this particular condition type and then populate that value. Suppose if you're entering the rebate manually, then you need to enter the system manually. If you want the rebate to be picked up automatically, then the relevant condition type, condition table in the access sequence need to be defined. Similarly, you go on defining sequentially what are all the other surcharges, freight costs, taxes that are applicable, and on what value or what component these calculations are performed. So if you look at this slide, you have the condition type. The condition type then finds the access sequence, and based on the access sequence, it goes and searches the relevant condition table. The moment it finds the condition record in the value, then the system automatically sends that value back to the condition type. Suppose if it doesn't find the value when it searches in the condition table 1, then it moves to the next condition table. And if it's able to find a value, then it populates that value and sends that value into the condition type. If it is not able to find the value in the condition table, then it goes to the next condition table and searches for the condition record. Once it finds the condition record, the data is sent back to the condition type. This is the process and the sequence in which the system works. Hi, if this is the first time you're watching my video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Please turn on the notification so that you get the latest updates. Check our posts on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Please leave your questions and comments in the comments section, and I will answer your questions. To gain more insight into SAP, please read our blogs on our website www.elearnerflow.com and then go to the blog section. Search for eLearnerFlow on YouTube and watch our SAP training videos.